let's get into it. So before we do the proper welcome and everything, for those wondering, this is once again going to be the 305th episode of Constant Calibrating. Why? Because last week we did a podcast episode, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. Turns out my Audacity failed and didn't record my audio, which is why we're not going to be using Audacity and individual recordings tonight. Turns out OBS corrupted the audio, and turns out Mixer did not save the VOD. So, welcome everyone to episode 305 of the Constant Calibrating podcast. I'm your host, Josh Silverman, joined by my co-host, Justin Stanley.
Hey.
Joining us this week, we have two guests. First, we have frequent contributor to Kinda Funny's You're Wrong segment, Disney fan, and all-around cool dude, Mick Abrahamson, known to many as DaNanoBiologist.
Hello, and actually, good pronunciation of my last name. A lot of people get that wrong normally.
I mean, it's... I went with what it looked like, so...
Well, you nailed it.
I'm really happy because as I was reading it out, I thought to myself, "Shit, I forgot to actually double check how to say your name." Let's go for it. Good. Next we have my fellow stuck in Arizona freelance PR rep, Branden Mccully.
Yep, howdy. Good to see all of you.
How you doing, Branden?
I'm doing all right. Enjoying the winter, summer, and spring that we had earlier this morning.
I don't know what's going on here. Like 10 days ago in Arizona, for those who aren't in Arizona, it was wonderful. Yep. It was nice in the morning. It was legitimately cold. In the afternoon, it was kind of cool, and then it stayed that way. And then in the evening, it was back to kind of coolish cold.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
really good.
Now it's two jackets in the morning. On the drive, when I leave my house, I have to wear two jackets. When I actually get to school 40 minutes later, I have to be in one jacket, and by the time I'm home, I'm in a t-shirt.
Yep.
I don't
life here.
I don't understand it. This is weirder than usual. But this is not about a podcast about the Arizona weather. We are going to be talking tonight about a bunch of different things. We're going to be talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog redesign, and the main topic, Disney Plus. It launched today for the live listeners and viewers, as it were. But first, let's talk about our guests for a second. So let's talk with you, Mick. Who are you, and what the hell are you doing here?
I am Mick, but a lot of people know me as the DaNanoBiologist. Been a part of the Kinda Funny community, working with You're Wrong, making sure Kinda Funny, Greg, and all of them are keeping away from their usual bullshit.
Yeah.
Submitting almost daily to what they're doing on Games Daily, and I've been at that for almost a year now already.
Yeah, your name pretty much pops up nearly every episode of any of their segments that they have that on. So it's
nearly every year wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I'm quite familiar with hearing the name. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I've actually started getting to the streaming game as well lately at twitch.tv/DaNanoBiologist.
Nice.
I hit affiliate last weekend.
Bravo. Mazel tov.
And my corgi emotes from all about my little puppy, Sushi, got approved today.
Nice.
Awesome all around. And I'm also on a podcast called Crossplay, which is part of the Whatnots network of podcasts, where that's their video game podcast where we just talk about what we're playing, some general overview of the news, and starting to review games a little bit.
Well,
and last week we reviewed Luigi's Mansion 3.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's actually really awesome. I'm sorry, I'm just glancing over. I don't know, if for anyone watching the live stream, I don't know what's going on with our webcams. Discord keeps just turning them off and on and off and on. That flickering is gonna be fun. Let's take a quick gander here. I'm gonna quickly switch us to a different server and see if this fixes the problem, because it's flickering to a point that's making me a little nauseous in all honesty. Right. So we're gonna switch that around. Hey, constant calibrating, we're used to it here. With everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I should not have chosen this name. It's really just been nothing.
But we live up to it.
It's nothing but a wonderful curse. I'm delighted with it. Branden, how about yourself? Who are you? Why are you on my lawn?
All right. Well, I'm a freelance public relations associate. Right now, I'm working with Radaleka Games. They publish smaller titles on console platforms. We normally find smaller indies and help them bring their games to PlayStation 4, Switch, Xbox One, and I've been working with them since about May of this year, and
Awesome.
got some exciting projects in the works that I can't talk about because wonderful NDAs.
Wonderful.
So,
The majesty of PR. Hey, I'm working on this really great thing. I can't tell you about it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's awesome. How long have you been doing the PR thing?
Off and on for about 2 years.
Yeah, so we've been doing it roughly the same time on at least on an official measurement. I don't know what the word I was looking for there was. Awesome,
Yeah.
really cool. Well,
Yeah,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say before that, I was doing a YouTube channel back when I was young and such. Before I got to college, and that's what inspired me to pursue the PR game because I wanted to be on the other side of the lawn.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate that. After doing content creation all these years, I realized, well, I still like content creation. I really like actually working with people behind the scenes and talking to people and helping people make, their games or whatever project it is work. So
Definitely.
that's cool. So I'm really glad that we have both of you on the show because you're two people who have now and again over like the last, I don't know, few weeks reached out and been like, hey, is there availability or something like that? So it worked out really nicely. It's one of those cases where like I hate that I screwed up my foot, which is what I'll talk about in a second. But at the same time, it opened up the fact that I couldn't do our normal planned interview for tonight. And it's like, okay, who's available? And I'm very happy that you guys reached out. So thank you for that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to have you. So, on the foot subject, I don't know of a way I could show this on camera necessarily, but I broke part of my foot on Sunday.
Ooh.
Get limber.
Yeah, so let's see if this is possible. Yeah, I'm in a boot. And yeah, it's a fun thing. So just for a little background, my wife and I, Charnel and I, have this joke. We're both kind of clumsy when it comes to our feet in the sense that we both stub our toes. There's an ongoing joke that she stubs her toes more often, but I stub it with more authority. And it's just become an ongoing joke. Do you want to go to urgent care whenever one of us cries out in pain? And then Sunday morning, I got up. She wanted me to get up with Sora so she could get some rest. I got up, was chasing him around. I have this like stone fireplace that's very like low to the ground, sticks out. We always worry the kids are going to get hurt on it. But neither of the kids have ever gotten hurt. And now I have because I went to surprise him. I jumped over it, and my small toe, my pinky toe, caught and turned in the wrong direction.
Ooh.
It popped right back. But I had the slightest bruise on it. I thought, okay, this hurts like hell, but I can live with it. And hey, haha, it's broken. They can't do anything about a broken toe anyways. I'm just going to ignore it. Later that day, we were going out, and it hurt most of the day. Later that day, we were going out to dinner with some friends. I went to throw on a pair of socks and a pair of sneakers. I'm walking around the house for 5 minutes, and I'm like, I think I might actually black out from this pain. This is insane. I took the shoe off, and my entire toe, which moments ago had 5 minutes earlier only had like a slightest little bruising, was now bluish black. And it's like, oh, this is a problem. I guess I have to wear sandals tonight. Woke up the next morning, and it was suddenly red, blue, and black. So the joke became a reality, and I went to urgent care, and they looked at my toe, and they're like, oh, that's broken. And I'm like, cool. They're like, well, to be clear, we can't confirm that's broken without an x-ray. And I'm like, will the treatment change with an x-ray? And they're like, it's a broken toe. No, there's no treatment. I'm like, great. So I'm going to DreamHack Atlanta this weekend. A lot of walking involved. I'm also going to Colorado up into the mountains for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be in a boot for 4 weeks.
Do you get one of those cool little carts where you stick your leg on and roll around with it?
I asked about that, and my insurance won't cover that, but I could get one if I wanted to. But after watching my mother-in-law at Disneyland wipe out on one of those and hit like a child in the head with it, I don't really want to be that person because I know I'm gonna have a drink and go racing, as it were. So I think I'm just gonna stick with the boot and hope for the best. But yeah, so I've been in a shitload of pain, but I'm the only person I think who goes to urgent care for an injury like this and doesn't think to ask for painkillers. I was just like, oh, cool, okay, and I left and like got home, and Charna was just like, so they gave you like Vicodin or something? I'm like, probably should have asked about that, huh? So I've just been taking ibuprofen, and just thankfully that has been dulling the pain, as it were. But it's been a fun couple of days, but hey, cool stuff is happening that we're here to talk about, and let's get into it. Damn it, Discord, it's doing the blinky thing. Whatever. First things first, Sonic's redesign was finally unveiled today.
Oh my god.
I'm just going to put it out there. I'm one of those people who legitimately liked the bad look of it originally. I was
Blessing.
Blessing, John, Mr. Negative, and a few other people. Wow, Discord. Imran was a fan of it. I'm sorry, Discord is really having a conniptious right now, and I just don't know what. Sorry, video watchers. I can't do anything about this. Discord's failing us this evening.
This is what you get for inviting an East Coaster on the show.
Justin's East Coast.
I am.
Oh.
Whoops.
No,
no,
it's just Discord is just gonna be a thing tonight. I might have to just switch.
I was thinking for I was like, I'm gonna let him have it.
Yeah,
And Josh just goes out with it.
No, we're just gonna switch the server every now and again while we're talking. It's just gonna be a thing. Let's try south instead of east and west.
You're wrong.
Yeah. So Student Ford says it's a Concal rave. So yeah. So Sonic's redesign. I was a fan of the original thing, mostly under kind of the same idea that Blessing had. This movie is gonna be like really terrible, so let's just go for something weird and just like live through it. I watched the trailer right before I called you guys. It's just because the new trailer really good.
It's really good because, like, not just, the character redesign. It was a tonal shift for a trailer. Like, why do you? I don't know who thought Gangster Paradise was a great way to reveal a Sonic movie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was a lot of people's question.
Yeah, it's an odd choice to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they took it from a practical joke to making it an actual movie throughout that whole redesign phase.
My theory about that, I don't remember if I ever said this on the podcast. I think when that original trailer came out, we were on hiatus. But one of the things I was thinking at the time is I have a feeling this was the original script for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie around the same time as the old Mario Brothers movie. And like maybe even later, like somewhere in the mid to late 90s, this was the original plan. And somebody just dusted off and was like, all right, Gangster's Paradise, that could still work. It's like, that's the only thing I could figure out. And they were trying to, or at the very least, somebody was like, I liked this song back when I used to play Sonic games. Like, it was an odd choice and it made no sense. But this new trailer, like there's nice little touches to Sonic the Hedgehog, stuff. There's like there's the animation of him. Somebody's in the background. There's like the animation of like on the edge of a ledge. There's like Hilltop Road. There's some musical stuff. Overall, I'm feeling it. The only thing I'm missing is the my child's in a bag joke that was at the end of the original trailer. There was just this joke where I can't remember the actor's name right now, so I'm gonna say Scott Summers.
That works.
John Marsden.
That also works.
John Marsden. Jason, is it John Marsden? I know it's Marsden, but I thought, isn't John Marsden Red Dead? Let's go with Marsden.
Yeah, but he plays a cowboy, so
okay, so whatever.
Yeah, it works out.
Marsden, he's like in an elevator in the original trailer, and somebody asks, what's in it? He's like, my kid, or something like that, and everyone just looks at him like, what the fuck? And it's just one of those really terrible jokes that I honestly really appreciated in that first trailer. But
I am curious how much they redid for this besides just
Same.
Sonic. I'm curious if they made recuts. We have no idea what this movie is going to be beforehand besides what
No.
they showed us. So who knows? The funny thing is, like, I saw a tweet from one of the guys that worked on it. It's like, this is actually her original design.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like what they did with it. I like the infusion of the rings. I like the overall design. I think it's a good combination of what we. I think they did a good job preserving what was the original design for the movie, coupling with actually what Sonic looks like across games and animation. So I don't know. Overall, it's not giving me quite the same level of vibes, but it's giving me like that same kind of like Detective Pikachu-y vibes. Where I'm like, all right.
I'm hoping they have some sort of line in the movie that will still make it that craziness that was that first trailer, where they just have something off the walls. Like the theory that Imran has is John Marsden's actually going to be, his nickname is Knuckles. And I'm hoping that like he has his dog there, but his dog's name is Tails. Just to really lean into all that.
And
you got a cat. What's his name? Big.
Isn't he also wearing red majority of the time?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Oh, and he has a girlfriend named Amy.
Yes.
No,
there's a lot of
really lean into it.
There's a lot of interesting stuff. No, I love Imran's theory when he first posted it, and I love when he retweeted it. By the way, James Marsden.
James Marsden, okay.
I knew you were right on the J, but I just couldn't pull it out of my head exactly what I was looking for. I finally had to look it up. Overall, I mean, it's a February release, so I'm like, okay. Valentine's Day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day movie.
I will take my wife to see that, and hopefully I'm still married afterwards.
It's gonna be right there with Deadpool.
Okay, but Deadpool is actually an appropriate, like, I don't know. That feels more appropriate as about the,
yeah.
Like that was a romantic movie, so at least the first one. So like, I feel that more. Sonic, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna fit that romance, but I don't care. I think it'll just be enjoyable either way, whether it's so good it's so bad it's good, or it's something else.
One of my favorite things I saw, someone puts like Detective Pikachu with Sonic right beside it. It's like, yo, Smash Brothers movie's happening soon.
I absolutely love it. So yeah, somebody was even saying that I've seen variations that they're hoping that James Marsden is actually like Mario, or that he's actually like Donkey Kong, and like the different various things being like, I hope at some point like James Marsden puts on like a red hat that's clearly like that the plumber styled hat. And then there's like an after or another one was like puts on a giant red tie, and like somewhere in the late movie or in an extra or the in the stinger at the end, he gets zapped by something and turned into a gorilla. Like
what? The post-credit scene is a giant hand floating in the sky.
Anything of that kind of variation. I've seen so many people being like, just do it, just lean hard into this. I mean, I personally want a shot for shot. A shot-for-shot scene of the end credit thing for Incredible Hulk, but instead of it being General Ross with Tony Stark coming in, it's James Marsden with Detective Pikachu coming in. Like, let's just lean into the absurdity of everything. That's all I want to see. Yeah. I'm just infused with wonder about this. But let's talk about the main topic. Let's get to Disney Plus. The thing we have long awaited. Those of us in the U.S. are able to actually use. A friend of ours, a former staff, Tom, was complaining in our Discord that the UK doesn't get it until like March I think.
Of next year.
Yeah, it doesn't get till March, and that VPNs don't actually work for it. At least he's tried 3 different ones, so they're doing some kind of blocking on that. So I feel, because the Mandalorian spoilers are out there. I still haven't watched Mandalorian because I'm waiting for my wife to be able to watch it, and there's no way we can watch that for the kids. So it's like I'm waiting as well, but the spoilers are out there to an extreme. In 4 months, that show is hell if you are even remotely social media person. But yeah, so let's talk Disney Plus. Let's just go with the main question. What did you watch first, Justin?
Oh, clearly The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, I figured as much.
Good. I worked all day, didn't get to watch anything till I got home. I bought a nice rotisserie chicken, popped that down, and just turned on The Mandalorian, man. It was a great time.
I mean, it sounds like a great time. So, same for you, Mick?
I almost choked on the chicken, but yeah.
I woke up, downloaded the app, and just started making breakfast and pulled The Mandalorian. And just sat there and watched it all morning.
I mean, that sounds like a great way to spend the morning. How about you, Branden?
Yeah, so I actually was able to use Disney Plus through the Netherlands app about yesterday.
Yep.
So my selection was like The Great Mouse Detective and That's So Raven. So I actually started with the great. Yeah. So I decided to do the Great Mouse Detective, and I was really surprised by the quality. It looks really nice. Like obviously, it looks a little dated with some of the animation and such, but it was a lot more clearer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, everything seems, regardless of where it aired or when it aired, everything I've seen so far, even The Simpsons, seems like it was just smoothed out, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just feels like it looks better than it should.
Yeah, I think for the more important properties, they definitely got touched up. But the second thing I watched, which was the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, that one sadly is still, well, I mean, it is in its original aspect ratio 4:3, but it's still pretty blurry.
Yeah.
And I feel like there could have been like higher quality rips, or not rips, but sources that they could have gotten it from, like DVDs and that kind of thing. It doesn't seem. I feel like I've seen clearer images online or for it before.
No, yeah, I watched that on Hulu like 2 years ago. I watched it through, and I even thought like, wow, like I know how your memory works, that things look better in your memory, but like this looked really shitty in my memory, and this actually somehow looks worse watching it on Hulu. So yeah, I was actually Spider-Man was gonna be one of my first choices to watch when Disney Plus launched, because I knew I probably wouldn't be able to watch Mandalorian, and then I opened it up and saw that everything was organized into a single season, and it's in a random ass order for the most part. Like the first episode listed was
The Birth of Carnage.
Yeah, it was Sins of the Father Part 10, which is like very late in that series. And then I think the next episode was like several episodes, like a dozen episodes later, and it was a Dormammu episode with like Doctor Strange. I'm like, okay, nope, I'm not. This app is already giving me an anxiety attack with the sheer amount of content. I don't need this.
I think they partially fixed it, or at least when I went to the '90s Spider-Man page, they still had the Sins of the Father episode as the first one, which was weird. But then the second episode was the actual first episode of the series with the Lizard. So,
the Night of the Lizard, yeah.
So
now they do have Sins of the Father episode 2, Night of the Lizard, episode 3, The Spider Slayer.
That's
Return of the Spider Slayer. I don't remember that being back to back.
That's how it was on Hulu. That's not how it was originally aired when we were kids, but that's how it was. Like that's the actual proper order, as it were. But yeah, when we were kids, they show those like 3 or 4 apart. I thought the same thing when I was rewatching on Hulu. Okay, that's good to know. I ended up hopping on last night because I had like the night from hell. Both my kids weren't feeling well. My wife wasn't feeling well. Everyone was like waking up in sequence kind of thing. And finally, after I got everyone to like pass out, it was midnight. I happened to we have a Fire. We have like I don't remember what brand, like a Samsung or whatever. Not maybe it's a Samsung, some other brand, but with a Fire TV like UI. And all of a sudden, what wasn't there before was now there was this ad for Disney Plus, and I thought, oh shit, did they launch it early? Of course, as I went to download, I swung over to Twitter and saw everyone losing their shit. Friend of the show, Belinda Garcia, having what can only be described as the most adorable meltdown in the entire world, listing everything that people have to watch or they're dead to her. It was delightful. But swung over there. So as I swung over, turned it on, and yeah, behold, before me was so much stuff that I just had this anxiety thing, and I started adding stuff to my watch list. My first thing I watched was the 12-minute documentary for the MCU for the upcoming stuff, which is essentially it's essentially just the reveals from Comic-Con, but mixed in with some behind like I say light behind the scenes things. If you've seen the GIFs from What If going around, that's from this. So there was some concept art, some things. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was kind of my first thing. I then pretty much went and made an account for each of my kids, putting stuff that I want to watch with them in there, like throwing DuckTales and Phineas and Ferb and a bunch of different things to make sure I could watch with them, just like so I could literally just open up their my oldest's account and be like, this is what we're watching together, kind of thing. And then finally I ended up watching I turned on X-Men, got halfway into the theme song before I'm like, I'm not ready for this.
I did turn on X-Men just to hear his theme song slap, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there's no way I'm just watching one of these episodes. No, I'm not doing
Also,
this.
I booted up Iron Man, the 90s series.
Oh no!
Let's actually watch that. Beginning of that is widely inappropriate.
Is it really?
Like Tony Stark is doing physical therapy with
Okay.
his therapist in a bikini, and they're straight up bumping in that hot tub, man.
Wow.
Okay, I mean that's a
Don't
proper
watch
The
it.
I-
90s
me
were
I'm
a
wrong.
wild time.
90s cartoons were something else, man.
How is the quality on those compared to the 90s Spider-Man?
Pretty. I haven't seen the 90s Spider-Man yet, so I can't say that.
Yeah.
But as far as the quality goes, just as an old animated thing, watching today, awesome.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even watching the intro to X-Men, I thought looked better than I remembered Spider-Man looking when I watched that on
Okay.
Hulu. So I think Spider-Man is just a special case. But to be fair, I always, even when I was a kid, thought that show looked like they smeared butter on a lens, in all honesty. Like, that show always did look a little on the grainy, blurry side. But yeah, finally, I decided I'm like, The Simpsons is on here. How am I not going to watch Simpsons? So I just randomly scrolled through, and then I just ended up going with Lemon of Troy, one of my favorite episodes of all time. And then I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning watching The Simpsons because, again, nobody in the family wanted to stay asleep. So I just cuddled with my 18-month-old and watched Simpsons until about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I was super curious if they're going to edit anything out of The Simpsons, like anything that slanders Disney. But
Nope.
to ultimately test this, I booted up the Simpsons movie. Nope, they still had that one part. It's like, I'm the mascot of an evil corporation.
Mhm.
And they still have Bart's dong in there, so they didn't take that out either. I'm
Yep.
surprised they didn't go with the fig leaf version.
Yeah, I know. They everything is still in there. Speaking of The Simpsons episodes, I haven't seen The Simpsons in a non-syndicated format in so long that watching some of these episodes, I'd forgotten some of these removed scenes. Now, the issue with The Simpsons specifically is it is stretched 16:9, not 4:3. Unlike every other old show, it's 4:3. They took the version shown on FX and brought it over. Now, there is when Fox made the Simpsons World app, they actually gave you the option to choose. Hopefully Disney Plus gives us that at some point down the line. That being said, when widescreen TVs came out, I was that asshole who watched all of my content that wasn't HD in stretched mode. So I've actually kind of used to watching The Simpsons like that, but
I did as well. I was like, oh man, I want to be full screen until I learned to actually appreciate film and stuff.
Exactly. I was the exact same way. I'm like, I wanted to take up the whole screen because we paid for this TV. And then, I started appreciating. Also, The Simpsons has an assload of sight gags that are top and bottom of the screen that literally don't work. So I'm hoping they fix it. But for what it is, but when I was getting this podcast ready, I just had The Simpsons playing over here. Like the fact that I could just turn on. Now give me a Simpsons randomizer. That's what I want. Pick a random episode. That's my dream. Go ahead, Mick.
Well, like what South Park has, where like on South Park Studios, they have a random episode button.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
The
for Disney
Simpsons.
Plus?
I think The Simpsons World did as well. I mean, Dream thing. I always asked for when Futurama was on Hulu or whatever. Is I don't want to. I want the mystique of when I was a kid watching syndicated episodes of The Simpsons. I want the mystique where it's like, oh, I get 5 minutes into an episode before I realize what episode it is. Like because the thing is, if for Futurama or Simpsons, if you give me an episode title or a description, I literally remember the whole episode the moment I see that. So it's like almost makes the jokes fall flat for me because I've seen it so many times. But if I can just jump into an episode, so my dream thing would be to be able to say, like, I would like you to randomize the first 13 seasons of The Simpsons. Nothing else, just that, and let's just go and just like shuffle.
Or just give me a straight up random button too. Like, actually, Xbox Game Pass has this. It's freaking amazing on PC. They have, hey, what do you want to play? Yeah, on the PC version of the Game Pass, there's honestly like just a randomizer right there. It's like, hey, click on it. We'll tell you what to play.
That's actually pretty awesome. I haven't looked that deeply into that. It's actually really cool. But yeah, no, I just like that, particularly with those style shows that I've watched to death. You know, like it's not something that is continuity or I need to watch in order. It's just like I want to go to sleep and I just want The Simpsons on, or I'm gonna be working and I just want it in the background and not think about it. So stuff like that would be neat. So actually, I have a question I didn't throw on here. What's your profile pic for your profile?
Oh.
Are you even? Because I was the person who spent 15 minutes deciding this last night.
See, I went with very on brand, and I went with Mickey.
Yep. Do to it.
No.
I almost hit that a little bit. Then I saw Gaston, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Roran, my 4-year-old, is obsessed with the song Gaston, particularly the original Beauty and the Beast version. So I almost made his account that. But Winnie the Pooh's been his favorite character his whole life, to the point that I'm like, let's make it. He doesn't visually recognize Gaston. I'm gonna make it Winnie the Pooh. So he saw his profile picture today, and the kid he was like, it's Pooh, and I'm like, oh my god, stop being cute. It's really annoying. For me, I went looking for Pluto, my favorite character in almost anything ever. Pluto's not there. I then went looking for Captain America, because as much as I wanted Spider-Man, there's no, it's an MCU Spider-Man look that I'm not the biggest fan of, and there's no MCU Spider-Man on Disney+. So I was like, I don't really want that as my profile picture. Turns out Captain America's not there either. And I just literally, it just turned into this like thing where I was just looking for a character. Finally, I just decided on Spider-Man. I get they have, they want to keep it like 8 from every property, but some of their choices are weird.
I'm sure they're going to be adding a lot more.
Oh, absolutely.
This first week is just making sure that servers are holding up. Yeah. Especially after today's issues. But they have to be listening to all the feedback going on, like with the aspect ratio for Simpsons, all the shows that are still missing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just the very beginning of this. So
these are all minor gripes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like this is just me. Like the profile picture is just like the dumbest minor gripe thing that I honestly am gonna fucking forget about. Like literally, I got yelled at by someone on Twitter. Actually, I think it was Belinda yelled at me on Twitter last night for bitching about it. Like, you have this whole library of things and you're sitting here bitching about profile pictures. It's like, look, my response was, my wife is asleep and I just want to watch The Mandalorian and I can't. So while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to watch through an anxiety attack, this is what I'm thinking about.
There you go.
Is what I'm focused. Brandon, what's your profile picture?
So mine is actually Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Nice.
And one thing I actually noticed, because I went to go double check my profile picture, is that it seems like, at least on PlayStation 4 compared to the website, there are only 3 categories to choose from for profile pictures. You can only choose Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney. You can't. There's no like TV shows. I actually can't pick like another Phineas or Ferb character.
To be fair, I think they're having issues right now because I can't even.
Okay.
I can't even. Yeah, I'm in unable to connect mode. So they must. It was doing really well for a little while there, but I think they're back to issues. Let's talk about those issues. We're all gamers. I think most of us have played a games for service or an MMO at some point. Was anyone shocked when Disney Plus did not work when it actually rolled? Well, did anyone other than me try it last night around middle of the night?
No, I had to work, Josh.
No, I know. So that's what I figured. Yeah. So I did the middle of the night. It was flawless. Woke up. Of course, it wasn't working because that was the actual proper launch time. Was anyone actually surprised when it was having issues? Because a lot of the internet was
actually working at when I started at 9 in the morning, 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because everybody would be getting up on the West Coast. Everybody on the East Coast would be wide awake, probably getting to work or just trying it out. I know some people called in sick just to watch a lot of Disney stuff today.
Sure.
So the fact that it was even working at that time was amazing in its own right.
That's the more surprising thing. Like, that's where I like weigh in on when it was actually working kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't really surprised, but a lot of people were really angry. My favorite thing was seeing roughly an hour and a half after the official planned launch time, seeing people like, they need to refund us for our time wasted while this wasn't working. And I'm like, so let's just assume you're actually paying the monthly fee. Actually, let's assume let's assume you're paying the monthly fee. So that's gonna be what, like 11 cents you want a refund for? Like, this is a really cheap service that they are trying to get as many people in with this extremely low amount of money cost. Like, deal. The first day it's not working, it's really not that big a deal. Even if it's the first week, I'm not even going to really hold it for granted. Should it have maybe been working better? Should some stuff maybe been tested better? Possibly. Disney's a massive one of the biggest corporations. Of course, there should be more to it, but I'm just not even slightly surprised. And it didn't. When Charnel and I went to just watch some stuff when we were home alone with the sleeping baby and it didn't work, we were like, all right, do something else.
Like, also, I can't imagine any other streaming platform that had this much attention at launch as well.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, every other one was a gradual increase in service. While Disney Plus, they were out there with the excitement right away, and nearly everybody who likes some sort of Disney property wanted this service. So,
it was a streaming service that you could pre-order.
Yeah,
like, let's just think that one through. That is, to my knowledge, there's been no other thing like that you could pre-order in this capacity.
Not only pre-order, but you could pre-order for 3 years in advance.
For 3 years for the price of 2 years, which, did. I mean, it's
same here.
Totally.
Yep. It's like, it's like, why? God, it's so, I don't know. So I'm just shrugging it off. It was a massive launch. Things were bound to go wrong. I as long as I can watch stuff here and there for the first few days, I'm really fine with it. It's not irksome in the slightest to me. So,
and when it worked, it was awesome. Everything just booted up so quickly. There was no lag whatsoever. The page is loaded up. So when it works awesome. Yep. When it doesn't work, it's just, okay, I'll pull up YouTube, I'll pull up Netflix, I'll just pull up something else in the meantime until it starts working again.
Yeah, it's like that whole we're entitled to entertainment when we want it. It's like I think Lucy O'Brien from IGN posted, there is officially too much content. And like after I added like 35, 40 things to my watch list on Disney Plus and then did the math in my head about how long it would take me to watch all these things, I was just like, cool. I'm literally not going to watch almost anything here. like
See, that's in why any capacity. They need a randomization button, not just for Simpsons, but for the whole service.
Yeah,
not a bad idea. No,
I was pretty surprised just how smooth it was when it launched earlier this morning, and but it's definitely been a lot smoother than a lot of game launches.
That's the thing. I still feel like think about a major MMO. How many MMOs can you actually get into if you brute force enough and try to get in? It happens, but is it even playable once you're in it? It's like you force your way into the server, you're actually in the game. Oh yeah, I'm playing WoW Classic on debut day, and I'm literally getting -5 frames per second. Like, it's literally, I'm somehow losing frames because it's loading so badly. This was, okay, I'm just going to keep trying to log in, and once you're in, I was able to just watch stuff without any issues whatsoever. There was no buffering, there was no lag, things were smooth. Everything was at least nothing was like was loading at like 480 or 360 or something like that. Everything was 1080 or better. We watched
queues.
Yeah, there was no queues for anything. Like, everything just was nice. Like, maybe it's the gamer mentality that we're more used to these kind of things, but like, yeah, I was not bothered at all. We were watching some Disney shorts and stuff like that, and like these things, and it was literally a minute after brute forcing our way in to actually get it working. We finally got on this afternoon. We load up some shorts, and we're watching them in 4K HDR, which is officially now the first thing I've ever seen in 4K, because we never actually used that on these TVs. And like watching these shorts, and it's just immaculately beautiful right from the get-go. So it's like, thumbs up. I'll take it, and I'll deal with the tech issues as it loads in. What has everyone been kind of like? What devices or apps or locations have you been primarily watching Disney Plus with? Something Branden brought up before we went live, so I'm just curious. For me personally, as I said, I've only really used it on Fire TV. We installed it on Xbox One, but I haven't used it. And I've loaded it up on my phone mostly because it told me on my TV that I could log in faster if I used my phone, and then I've never been able to figure out how that actually works. So I have it on my phone just because of that. But just go around, Justin. What have you been mostly using?
Initially, like during lunch today, like I popped it on my phone and started adding stuff to my queue. I didn't watch anything though. When I got home, I downloaded the Samsung app on my TV. and just watched it from there.
Yeah, I mean, that works. How about yourself, Mick?
So I watched The Mandalorian on my phone, which worked perfectly fine.
Sure.
With
sorry to laugh. It's just I'm not a phone watching person, so it's always fascinating. I get it, but
it was the thing. Like I was just walking around the kitchen. I had The Mandalorian on my phone, watching it. And it was fine. And then I sat down to do work at home. I just pulled up on the browser, and again, it was still working perfectly fine.
Perfect.
So
that's awesome.
Great quality all around.
Awesome, Brandon. How about yourself? Because you mentioned you actually had an issue with a particular platform. So where have you been watching?
Yeah, so I've actually watched it using a browser on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Out of those three, I've only been able to get it work on Mac and Windows.
Okay.
Linux and Android, I'll talk in just a second. Both consoles apps are great, very easy. In my opinion, they perform way better than Netflix and Hulu. Just the overall experience of navigating with a controller is easy, it's intuitive, and it just works. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. So I've been primarily today watching on PS4, and in the past few hours, I've been watching stuff on my Galaxy S7 Edge, and that was the most annoying aspect of getting Disney Plus to work, is that for some Android phones, you actually can't install the app due to a DRM issue.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah, that's kind of, you can just Google it if you want. You can probably find some information, particularly with like Linux as well, since Android is also technically Linux. But there's like an error code you get, like error code I think 83, if you try to run it from any, even like if you run it using Google Chrome or Firefox on a Linux operating system, it'll give you a particular error code, and you cannot watch anything. It has to do with a bunch of technical stuff I won't get into. For Android though, I'm hearing really mixed reports. Like some Pixel phones can't install the app while others can, even if it's the same kind of phone. I actually had to sideload or install a APK file of Disney Plus, but Disney has some weird stuff there where you have to like install 3 different APKs at once. So I had to use a different program to install a different program that then combined everything to then install Disney Plus, and now I can run it fine.
We were talking about brute forcing our ways into the server before. Like you really brute forced your way to get this app working. I mean, you've done actually some real testing on this. I'm like really impressed by that. So that's okay.
It was weird. It honestly, it was weird. I expected just to go into, I was just expected to go into the Google Play Store, click on install, log in, and just watch stuff. But for some reason, it wasn't compatible. And sometimes Android apps with certain older phones, you just can't do that. But this phone is like 2 years old. It's running on the Android 8.0. It's way above what Disney has on their website. I don't know what's going on. So I saw that you could download it on Amazon. So I installed the Amazon App Store, tried that. That didn't work. So then I just found a file of it on the internet, tried that. That wouldn't work. Then I found out, you have to have these 3 things, and you have to use this one installer to install all 3 at once, like as like a package, and then it will work. This is probably a gray area as far as how to get it to work, but I really hope they get this issue figured out, because I probably won't be able to update this app if they make a new one, update it and require you to use the updated version. So this is only a temporary fix, I'm sure.
No, for sure. Like, yeah, that's definitely something. I mean, it's hard to test. You can't really test for every inevitability with every platform, every device. You eventually just have to start letting people in and seeing what works. But it also really beyond sucks that that's not working. It's really hope they sort that out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because, definitely. I mean, I don't think majority of people are going to be quite as tech savvy to actually be able to, brute force to get things working. I'd say the majority of people wouldn't be able to ever figure that out.
Yeah. But everything's running great. I actually have my phone is playing Spider-Man Unlimited at the moment, muted, and it's running fine. No issues, no performance hitches. So I'm not sure exactly why it's having these compatibility issues, but they really need to figure out something here.
Definitely. Well, let's move on a little bit. Got a couple more things to talk about here. So what is, and this could be something it could be a series you're already watching, but what is something you're the most excited for that's coming to Disney Plus? Whoever wants to go first, jump in with that.
I can start.
Sure.
I started watching that Jeff Goldblum show.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I've heard good things.
It's surprisingly funny. I mean, of course, it's funny. It's Jeff Goldblum, but it's really, and you learn a lot. And I learned a lot about sneakers today that I had no interest in before. And just him continuing that series. And the next episode is going to be about ice cream. So
is this like a documentary with Jeff Goldblum, or like how would you describe this for someone who doesn't know what this show is?
It's Jeff Goldblum learning about a topic. So he learns about the history of sneakers and how they came to be, the culture behind sneakers, which there's a huge convention in Cleveland he went to where during the show somebody bought $30,000 worth of sneakers.
Wow.
Okay.
And he goes into custom-made sneakers. He goes into sneakers, people who YouTube sneakers.
So is this going to finally, if I watch this, will I finally understand the sneaker culture that's really prevalent in like the marketing side of the game industry? Because like Discord, Mixer, across a bunch of different platforms are really big into sneakers, and I don't understand it at all. I'm a person personally who it's like, their shoes, like kind of mentality. So will I actually have any degree of, would you feel, of understanding more so?
More than no understanding, yes.
Fair enough. I you know what? That I'll take it. I will take it. Yeah.
But you really go into the show like nothing, but then you kind of get into a way that Jeff Goldblum is approaching it, where it's all, oh my God, this is amazing. It's like a whole new world here. Just that Jeff Goldblum mentality of like everything is just so sparkly, shiny, and so much fun to learn about.
It sounds vaguely like that old Food Network show. I'm blanking. It was Mark Summers hosted it, where they just went to like different factories to see how certain things are made and stuff like that in nature. And it was like really like those episodes that focus on different candies and different things like that. It sounds like that, but with like, well, not specifically on food, and also with a Jeff Goldblum skin kind of over it and that kind of energy. Everything about the trailer was very interesting. I think that's on my watch list. I know that for anyone who's unaware, Jeff Goldblum showed up at DreamHack Dallas earlier this summer. We actually talked about this with Aaron Lind on our DreamHack podcast we did about 4 or 5 episodes ago. But he showed up, and like we had friends who were like tweeting and like texting, being like, "So I just walked by and saw Jeff Goldblum playing DDR." And nobody knew what the hell he was doing there. We found out during a podcast with Aaron that there was like all these NDAs, like they were not allowed to even slightly discuss it. But yeah, he was filming an episode. I believe it's on esports. So that is coming up at some point.
Okay, I'll definitely be adding this to my watch list.
Yeah, it
sounds very intriguing.
Yeah, I need to add it as well once I can actually get into Disney Plus again.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Mine's a different topic.
So I'd say just watch it just for the fact that you're watching 30 minutes of Jeff Goldblum, which is always entertaining.
Very true.
Honestly, anytime people say it's 30 minutes, oh, it's only 30 minutes, cool. Like that actually is a major selling point, because I don't have time to watch anything ever anymore. But that's awesome.
I'm playing games. I came across the Disney Plus parody account that has like
I love that account so much.
I do, till I scroll down the one, I'm like, oh no.
Is it one we can talk about?
Yeah, I can. It says, don't tell mom that babysitter's Chris Benoit.
Yep, that one. No, I saw that earlier. It was linked within a thread, and I came across that one too. And I was at swim class for my kids, and Charlotte glanced over. She's like, "Your eyes look like they're gonna pop out of your head." What? And I couldn't get words. I just turned it towards her. She's not a wrestling person. She saw that. She's like, "Oh fuck no." Oh yeah, no, that was harsh, Justin. For those who don't know, there's a fake is a parody account for Disney Plus, but a lot of people seem to think it's a real account, and their stuff ranges anywhere from, oh, this is kind of quirky funny, or this is satire on Disney Plus, to that.
Yeah, to be clear, the banner is like a cross-eyed Mickey with his dick out, so
That is their banner.
pixelated, but it's there.
It's that is what it is. You are right. So yeah, Justin, what's upcoming stuff that you're excited about?
I mean, definitely more Star Wars stuff, more Marvel stuff. I'm curious what other unique shows we're gonna be doing. But yeah, the Jeff Goldblum National Geographic looks awesome. I probably don't watch this when I get off, but the Pixar in real life.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna start watching that. Excited about that. And other than that, I don't know what else is coming.
Well, they have this cool feature. There's one reason why they bring this up, and I'll do mine and get to Branden as well as a second. But one of the cool features I saw is if you search for something that you know is a Disney property and it's not available, it just tells you the date it's going to be available. Like, to the point, I'm forgetting what it was, but there was some movie that was listed. I think it's like July of 2021. Like, because, again, the way this is working, there's a lot of stuff Disney doesn't currently have the rights to. Disney lost their rights to different things because it's on Netflix or different things of that nature. They don't have the streaming ability, but they know when they're getting them back, and they're just like, yeah, cool, when you want to watch. So it's like, I love that because it's saving, like, community managers and, like, social media managers. I mean, people are going to still ask the dumb questions, but it's like, it cuts down on that where people can just be like, I want to watch X. I can't find it anywhere. Let me go to the internet. It's like, you don't even have to do that. It's just like, yeah, no, this is a Disney property. It's coming eventually. I saw George of the Jungle listed for, I think, like May of 2020 because I was really surprised that wasn't available. I just think that's a really cool feature. What, Justin?
Sorry, you're talking about Brendan Fraser, George of the Jungle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I read this whole thesis paper on how that is actually like one of the best examples of like what a modern male feminist should be. And like this whole entire thing, it was like this whole like thesis thing on like toxic masculinity and stuff about that movie. And I've never seen the movie. And it like literally analyzed everything about it. And I'm like, honestly, I really fucking like what they wrote. So I want to now watch the movie. And then I saw a lot of people asking about it also. So I was curious. You know, I look up things at random. So yeah. For me, excited stuff is Marvel's What If. Like, I'm excited about everything MCU.
yeah.
But like, What If comics were my favorite as a kid. I love alternate universes. I love alternate things. Change one little thing, and what could happen. We already the main thing that was announced originally was what if Haley Atwell's character, if Agent Carter, what if she had gotten the super soldier serum, and seeing like the animation style like actually in effect, and knowing that they're gonna do, you know, one story for all 23 existing as of this time MCU movies. It's like, I love everything about this. This could be a super short, like it could be shorts, it could be a 30-minute show. I don't know the specifics. I don't care. I'm very much looking forward to, and I already know from the 12-minute little thing they put up there a couple of the other stuff they're doing. So it's just like, I'm just really curious to see what the show is going to be. And then otherwise, it's just it's literally just having easier access to stuff. I've been wanting to watch the new DuckTales for years. And there was no way to do it without pirating it, and I just didn't want to do that. So I just, like, the stuff that's already available. It's not even... I can barely, other than What If, I can barely think of what's on the platform currently to even consider thinking about the future.
Yeah, true. Look, it's like I didn't get to see Star Wars Rebel all the way through. So
Which
excited to actually hop into that.
I'm excited for you to watch that. Who was it? Ben Bellevue, the first thing he watched was... it's a spoiler, but it's a known thing on the internet, the Obi-Wan Darth Maul stuff from Rebels, that he says the first thing. I like, Justin, like, I cannot wait for you to see Rebels because it's pretty much, I love Clone Wars and I love the movies. Rebels is my favorite thing Star Wars has ever done at this point, personally. So I'm gonna rewatch that all the way through.
Yeah. For mine, the biggest thing that I'm most excited for is the Kenobi TV show.
I fucking forgot that was a thing, honestly. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, he was my favorite fictional character that wasn't like Spider-Man. And so I would dress up as Ben Kenobi for every single Halloween. And I would like reenact the movie fight scenes from like episode 2 and 1. You know,
Wonderful.
I've rewatched 2 far too many times because I mean it is terrible, but I've always enjoyed a lot of those action scenes.
Yeah, it's great.
So
in that regard.
to see another, especially just a series focused on him, has me very much intrigued. But to go to what you were saying, the what if, I'm really interested to see like what will come to that. Maybe we'll get even. Have they confirmed Marvel Zombies at all?
So
Wasn't that shown in the documentary?
So in the documentary, they show a scene of Bucky, and he is confronted by zombie Steve Rogers, by zombie Cap, and who throws the shield to Bucky, who catches it, throws it back. Like it's we see 2 seconds of it, but yeah, Marvel Zombie. I'm guessing that's the Winter Soldier what if scenario. So yeah, we're definitely gonna get Marvel Zombies out of that.
Yeah, and just catching up on some shows like I've never gotten to see, like Star Wars Rebels and the new DuckTales. Being able to rewatch a lot of the '80s cartoons, like the original or Tailspin.
I cannot wait to watch Tailspin. I haven't like a Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yep. Goof Troop.
Goof Troop. Yep. And I've never seen Gargoyles. Like, despite being a 90s kid, like I was the proper age for that, but I was the kid that if the aesthetic was slightly dark, it was quote unquote adult. Like I believed everything that was even slightly scary was adult. It was really just my pretense so I didn't have to watch it. But I want to watch that with my kids and just be like, cool. I watched the new Muppet Babies for like an hour and a half earlier today. It's just like,
is it good?
It's not bad. It's like I probably have watched every episode of the original Muppet Babies hundreds of times, more like I count. It was my dad and my most quoted show other than The Simpsons for my childhood. I still quote it to this day. But rewatching it anywhere past my 20s, it's one of the I watch a lot of kids television because I have 2 kids, and it is unwatchable. The original one. The new one is essentially that same kind of feel, but it's watchable. It's decent to have on. I found myself, I was able to engage with it watching with my kid, and then I was able to zone out and I was able to re-engage with it. So it serves its purpose, and my 4-year-old freaking loved it. So what's like for that purpose alone, it's definitely more than a lot of the other kids shows. It definitely is edging more towards like teaching very little kids. So kind of thing.
I'm glad. Currently adding stuff to my queue right now. And one feature I do wish they add is just add collection.
Add collection would be great. Let's actually like switch into that. The most desired features. We already talked about a randomizer, whether for The Simpsons specifically or just overall, a randomizer would be great. An ad collection would be wonderful. What else?
I would say chronological order. So it's not just alphabetized, but you can see what was released in each year, like they had in their initial announcement video.
Oh, yeah.
I think they actually have well, not chronological orders exactly, but they have like I think it was on the app on my Samsung TV, like 80s. Everything came out in the 80s, 90s. Everything came out in the 90s.
I mean, I saw that, but it'd be also nice to see, okay, what was released in early 90s or what was released in 1993. I want to watch all that stuff.
Gotcha.
No, I get you. You want to be able to just like from collection to very microcosm, very tiny facet, just to be able to scroll through year by year, almost month by month. No, I agree with you. I think that'd be a really cool feature. I would like, and maybe it's in here and maybe it's just broken right now, I would like that it would actually freaking track what I have watched. Because I
saw that for a second.
Same. It appears sometimes. It doesn't appear other times. But I've even gone where I was watching a Simpsons episode. I stopped halfway through, and for the brief time I saw the currently watching, whatever the hell they were calling it, I clicked on Simpsons thinking it'll take me the episode I was watching. Nope. It just took me to the Simpsons thing, and when I hit play, it just played the very first episode. And it's like, okay. So like just there's some very basic quality of life things that maybe are in there and they're not working. Wow, the Discord's freaking. It took another 30 minutes, but it's finally acting up again. But there's some basic quality of life things that I would just like to see added in. Sorry, sorry.
No problem.
You're good.
Yeah, it does seem to keep track of like how far you are into the episode, but there's no way to just continue on that episode. You still have to go and manually select it from the list. And I've seen it, like you guys mentioned, I've seen it pop up on the web. I have yet to see it on mobile or PS4 so far.
Yeah, I've only really used it on. I've used it a little bit on this TV I have over here, but primarily only used it on the TV in our bedroom. And literally, it was up. I went to look at my watch list, and then I switched back, and it was gone, and it never reappeared again, kind of thing. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. That's so again. We know they're under a lot of strain, and stuff is like disappearing and reappearing. So I'm hoping that like those kind of related features to currently watching and be able to just pick up your progress. I hope that just is a glitch because it's a new service and the servers are overloaded and it's not like retaining information. Because there was actually one point where I turned on the app and like my watch list was empty. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping it's just those like initial couple of days. It's just not keeping. It's not holding onto information. But otherwise, I had another feature I had thought of while we were talking way earlier, and I should have written down. Anyone else have any other like particular features or stuff they want to see added to it?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it would be nice if there was like bonus features for specific movies. So for some of the classic movies that have like commentary from the directors and that kind of stuff, being able to select that, because I mean Disney has such a rich history with commentary and bonus features with like Pixar. I remember watching all the behind the scenes stuff for like Monsters Inc. And it would be great to see all of that in like higher definition or even just available again.
I feel like that is going to be available because there already is a lot of stuff does have bonus features, like Endgame, for instance, has deleted scenes you can go watch.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot, and I did read something on the early press releases that said the majority of they said either majority or a large portion. I remember the exact wording. It was probably a large portion to cover their asses. But it said that a large portion of stuff would have their bonus features from that you would get on DVDs, and I thought that was one of those because I remember reading that and being very surprised. Okay. So I think that's going to be one of those rolls out over time sort of things. And added, it's kind of one of those things like, hey, you watched this movie, we just added more to it, like kind of how Netflix like will send you, an email that that show you watched one time 4 years ago. Hey, we added a new season to it. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney Plus adds that. Hey, so you were watching The Little Mermaid. We now added this whole behind the scenes thing that was on the original DVD from the third release special edition.
Speaking on that, I just pulled up Endgame. They have all the extras that are on the DVD, but they also have that one scene where they were talking about was removed during initial screenings of Tony running into his older daughter when he snapped.
Yep.
That they now have that deleted scene on Disney Plus available to see.
Yep. Yeah, I read that earlier as well. So it's like they have stuff that's not actually available other places.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now that I'm scrolling through in-games.
So it's like it's not there for everything. I know we were watching a lot of shorts earlier, and like 2 different shorts had a behind the scenes like discussion with the creator about why they made this whole thing. So I think it's just going to be one of those some things have it, some things don't. And they'll roll it out over time or as people potentially request it, maybe. But I agree that would be to see it across the spectrum of shows and things like that and movies, just to be able. Again, Disney, what they want to do here is remove their vault. Their goal is to remove the vault and make it that you are not buying Blu-rays and DVDs anymore. So Disney's known for their special features. So if they want you to abandon your collections and go in digital and just keep paying them a subscription fee, they're going to have to bring stuff out of the Blu-rays and out of the DVDs and out of fully out of their vault. So I think this is one of those it's inevitable sort of things. God, I really wish I could remember my idea. Does anyone else have any wish list feature kind of things they want to throw out there?
I had one more, and it was just picking a version of a movie or TV show. So you could say, like for episode 4, saying, I want the original release available to watch, or I want not that one scene in it, or the early 2000s version.
Yeah.
Just picking whatever version you want, the pure version, director's cut, with everything in it. Just picking it so you can choose experience that you want.
How much do you want to bet that George Lucas had it in like the selling rights contract that Disney is like for some amount of time never allowed to show anything other than the ultimate edition or some shit like that? Like I just feel like that's got to be in one of the contracts, something like that. But no, I agree with you. Like it's actually playing off the Simpsons conversation from earlier. Let people choose between the 16:9 stretch or the original version 4:3. I mean, shit, that should in theory just be available for all the old 4:3 shows potentially if they're going to implement that for one. But I agree. What version do you want to watch? Because it's not just Star Wars stuff that have been heavily changed under the Disney license. There's a lot of stuff that have had heavy changes over the years, or subtle things, or tweaks, or they've been remastered and what have you. So the ability to watch a specific version would be awesome. And I'm just never going to remember what my other idea was. We probably have covered it, and I'm just forgetting. I'm really desperate. So any other final wish list items before we kind of get into wrapping things up?
Not as far as features, but there is one show that is missing from Disney Plus that I would very much like to see, and I'm surprised it's not here. And it's Disney's House of Mouse.
Really?
That is surprising, actually.
So they do have a shorts area that has some, Steamboat Willie and that kind of thing. But when I was a kid, I was introduced to a lot of these shorts through the House of Mouse series, and there's definitely a few of them that are definitely not on this list. And I'm really surprised that none of the House of Mouse things are on here. None of the specials for like Christmas or Halloween, the villains themed one, none of them are here. There's absolutely nothing for House of Mouse, and I feel like that's such a wasted opportunity because it's such an easy way to get kids and people who have never seen any of these shorts to get into them, since they also have quote unquote modern animation, easier for them to get into. So it's disappointing that it's not here, and maybe even make a new one or a new version of House of Mouse to introduce people to like the Pixar shorts or something of that nature. So
I think that'd be a great idea. No, I agree with you. But hopefully they start kind of digging in there. Speaking of the old Vault stuff and changed over things, this is hopefully the last time I have to do this with Discord. It literally drives me nuts, so I can only imagine anyone who's watching the video experiencing. So one of the things I've been thinking about is, so we already knew Disney had 3 things they weren't going to ever put out on the service, one of them being a Song of the South. They won't even admit that exists, kind of thing. But the question then became, are they going to edit some stuff? Because like Dumbo has the Jim Crows, very, very sizable, racist scene that's extremely racist, and there's a lot of other stuff. People just assumed because based on Song of the South and stuff, that they were just gonna delete that from the movies. There was a rumor going around. Apparently, it's still in the movie, and if you go to Dumbo, I don't remember the exact wording, I read it earlier, but it's a shorter version similar to the WB thing that was going around, which essentially says it would be a disservice. This doesn't represent our opinions currently. It would be a disservice to change it from its original notion, and would be the implication being it would be tantamount to saying this was right by not acknowledging it. And Disney is known for ignoring their extremely racist history, so it's nice to see them just be like, yeah,
we did that. It's a different time.
And
I'm sure there's some things where it's just too heavily ingrained in it, like a Song in the South, where it's just not editable and they don't want to acknowledge it at all. But
I still think they should.
The theme of Splash Mountain, I don't get that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's one of their most successful rides ever, so it still exists. Everything about Splash Mountain is Song of the South, the ride. But that makes money. Song of the South itself wouldn't make money. Ergo, Disney's a major corporation who makes some bad decisions.
I guess the edited version is their live action movies, because they do take out a lot of that stuff for the live action version. Like I watched Lady and the Tramp today, and they cut out a lot of the stuff that was frowned upon from the original version in it, and just made it seem more accessible and just more accepting.
Yep. No, there's definitely a lot of that happening. So I've thought of my wish list items. I was talking to a bunch of people. The accessibility, particularly when it comes to the subtitles on Disney Plus, is garbage. I don't know who's actually messed with that. I watch a lot with subtitles because kids are noisy, and it's just what I've kind of gotten used to doing. On my Fire TVs, it uses Amazon's subtitles, so they're fine. But on I've heard on other things, other stuff, it's Disney Pluses, and they're tiny. Our friend Steve Saylor, Blind Gamer, was talking about the fact that like they're minuscule subtitles. Other people have said, you know, they're just absolutely non-existent, tiny subtitles that you can't make any larger. They almost serve no purpose. And my experience was I watched a bunch of different things that just straight up did not have subtitling. So one of my things I'm always going to say is I want the maximum amount of people to be able to enjoy a product, whether it's a game, whether it's a show, whether it's a movie. So subtitles to me just seems like one of the easiest, the oldest accessibility things. So Disney Plus, please fucking fix that. Kind of like make it as accessible for people as possible. It's always going to be my wish. Yeah, I think that's at the end. Discord is just it's not letting me fix it anymore, and it's actually, we're pretty much kind of at the end thing. Anyone have any final thoughts on Disney Plus before we hit our outro points?
I'm totally gonna watch Flight of the Navigator in a bit.
Nice.
For that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of my things. It's just I'm gonna watch X thing that I only vaguely sort of kind of remember. So and see, you know what it is. Ooh, does this trigger a traumatic episode from my childhood by watching? Have I actually watched? I have a rule, Justin knows, that like if I saw it before the age of 12, I just say I haven't seen it because I have no memory of before that age. So it's just like, so I'm just like, oh, let's see if this triggers some weird memory or some weird thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff.
There's way too much content.
There's way too much content.
This is a hose of content, and I need to figure out some way to filter it so I can just, pour it into a nice glass of water instead of hooking my mouth up to a fire hydrant.
That's an awesome analogy for this.
Sure, very much.
No, I appreciate that. That's good.
Yeah. I just want to see how every other streaming service responds to Disney Plus and how huge of a success this platform is. Even on the first day, we can chalk this up to an amazing win for Disney and Disney fans, anybody who just likes any Disney property. So how is every other streaming service going to respond to the price, the model, and the way that everything is just available to people?
Yep. I know. It's really the price being a primary thing.
Yeah.
Justin and I are going to talk about Stadia on the Catch-All tomorrow night. But one of the main things I've been equating with the whole Stadia thing is Google is going with the mindset of we're Google, you're going to buy it, and charging this pretty big amount of money for a subscription service that you still have to buy games for. And for a brand new untested thing, Disney, however, came in and was like, we're going to charge you honestly a laughably small fee to use our massive service because we are going to try to onboard as many people as possible in this overly saturated market to get you hooked on it, and then we're going to probably jack up the prices down the road steadily as time goes on. And that, from a marketing perspective, is the better way because, again, it's an oversaturated market. Google's launching Stadia into an oversaturated market. Sure, their particular thing isn't. I said, "Okay, Google," and my phone is now thinks I have a question for it. So it's but launching into this market that while the specific thing they're doing isn't oversaturated, it's still a streaming service and they're coming with this high price. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how the pre-existing ones and some of the newcomers are going to change their subscription models, their pricing, how they offer stuff, do they rotate stuff, all those kind of things, if they're going to change any aspect of their business.
I honestly will call it a bathroom thought. Sat there, it's like, what do I really watch on Netflix anymore?
Yeah.
The only thing I've been watching on Netflix lately is reruns of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So it's honestly, it's not a lot. If not for Charnel's Korean dramas, I would honestly consider not using it anymore.
Do you see Disney eventually bringing in some of their licensed content from other regions, like either anime that they've had previous rights to or have distributed through like Disney XD or anything of that nature?
I could see them working on deals right now, especially with Studio Ghibli, and then being the distributor in the US, trying to get that onto Disney Plus somehow.
Well, we know the Studio Ghibli stuff is going to HBO Max, at least for X amount of time. So that particularly, I think we've missed the boat on. But I agree with. But I still agree with. I think they were probably still in the background trying to work on that deal before HBO Max bit and pulled it in. But Studio Fortress in chat is saying, I'm calling it right now. Disney will buy out Netflix.
I mean, they already own Hulu.
Yeah,
they have an owning stake in Hulu.
Which I'm still surprised at Hulu's pricing too. That's a change I'm hoping to either do a bundle with that actually gets you the commercial-ish one, or I don't know.
Hulu is too expensive for what it is. It's why I use my cousins. So
I imagine what they're going to do is Hulu is kind of like what they do with like those. God, I forget the other studios that they don't like. If they're doing like something rated R, say, they release that on a different movie studio. I imagine that's kind of what Hulu will be.
Yeah, in large part, no question. I think that's what it's going to primarily turn into. But I mean, just one thing, I just made a thorough comment about using my cousin's login. That's another thing Disney Plus is doing that still blows my mind. You get 7 profiles and 4 active users on your account, and at the same time for the price we're paying. And I'm just like, again, this is just another one of those things I'm just blown away with. Like, I want to see other companies try to show it up.
It can also just come down to the lower the price it is, the more people you're going to get. So you're going to make that money back anyway with the amount of users you're going to get for the low price.
Yep. Definitely.
It's all solid marketing. Disney knows their shit. Nobody can, they're a terrifying company, and we're all going to be worshiping at the altar of Mickey in about 10, 15 years.
They know us better than we do.
Yeah, they know us better. So it's like, it's this hellhole future where Disney literally owns our souls. It's gonna happen, but the entertainment's great.
And going back to the topic of other licensed things coming to Disney Plus eventually, they probably are just doing it as their own stuff first, showing how big of a success it is, and then having everybody else come onto the platform later.
Hey, this is doing well. We have more users than literally this is not a confirmed thing. I'm just like hypothetical. We have more users than every other streaming platform combined due to our low price and ease of entry into our platform. Come hang out, and that's absolutely gonna be that's in their pitch decks right now. That they're just waiting. They're waiting for the confirmation of numbers, and that's going on a pitch decks right away, I imagine.
I can hear them drafting tweets right now saying we have the highest number of users day one than any other streaming service ever had.
Yeah, even with people not being able to get on the platform, we still have the highest amount. Kind of like one of those kind of tweets. I could see them going the self-effacing route a little bit with that. So awesome. I mean, I was very much excited for this, and I'm very happy to be on and using stuff. I can't wait to keep watching stuff, and I really apologize to my part-time job that I have. I'm not
going to apologize about full-time job. But about that.
No, well, that all. I was
legitimately thinking about how long can I just not work?
I was just to be like all of my press releases are going to accidentally have quotes from X things inside them because I just happen to be hearing them in the background because this is just gonna be playing all the frickin' time. Mick, Branden, thank you both so much for joining us for this topic. Last minute coming on, talking about Disney Plus, Sonic, all these other things. Mick, let's start with you. Where can people find you on the internet if they're interested? Plug, shout out, what have you.
So I am everywhere as the DaNanoBiologist, like on Twitch, and if there's a character limit, like on Xbox, Twitter, PlayStation, I am DaNanoBiologist, DaNanoBiologist. So find me wherever, hit me up, find my cute pictures of my corgi. Come say hi. I'm also on the Whatnots Crossplay podcast, which you can find on Apple, Google, and Spotify.
Very nice, very nice. Branden, how about yourself?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at sing_awake. I'm normally awake. I don't tweet too often these days, but I'm hoping to get back into it, especially with some exciting announcements coming up from my current client. So keep your eyes on that. And thanks again for the opportunity to join you guys.
No, absolutely. It was a pleasure. I'm glad we've had you guys on. This is a fun show. I'm just glad I got to do a low-key show where I didn't really have to interview anyone because seriously, my foot hurts. A little bit.
Thank you again for the opportunity, and I'm always happy to take any chance to talk about Disney.
Yeah, you were the first person who joined me in pitching the idea of Belinda and I doing a Disney podcast, and while she's never bit at it, I like anyone I can talk Disney stuff with because I don't get to talk about stuff enough. So when there's more Disney related news, we'll definitely have you back on to talk more Disney related things.
Sounds good.
But for us, as far as we go, thank you all for joining us this week. The Constant Calibrating podcast is live at every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here, mixer.com/ConCalPod. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/ConstantCalibrating, Twitter at ConCalPod. I'm at Bear Punch. Justin's at Justin_Glorious.
Yeet.
Check Instagram, instagram.com/ConstantCalibrating. Come chat with us on Discord at ConstantCalibrating.com/Discord. And then, please make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Show's been going on for a long time, but it still helps. The more reviews, all that kind of stuff, it does help us get in front of more listeners. If there's a platform you're not currently subscribed to, just go subscribe on as many platforms as you can. Again, the more subscribers, more numbers, all this fun stuff, the more people can listen, and we can keep growing the podcast. We got more interesting stuff in our heads, ending 2019, going into 2020. Wow, there's just a strobe light going on right now with the video, and I can't even concentrate. Please, I hope you're listening to this and not watching. Oh, jeez. But with that, we bid you all a good sign off.